To build anything that truly lasts, it takes time.
Tracking the top global headlines at this hour. Now, the Trump administration is turning up the heat on trade partners ahead of a Wednesday deadline, threatening new tariffs unless deals are struck. Now, letters warning of higher duties could go out as early as today, targeting up to 15 countries, with tariffs potentially starting on August 1st. Now, Trump originally aimed for broad negotiations, but now says that letters are better, citing repeated setbacks with nations like Japan and the EU. Only the UK and Vietnam have secured deals so far. Now, Trump hints the deadline could shift, but the pressure remains high as the US pushes for economic leverage in ongoing talks. Canada, notably, is not on the list for tariff letters yet. Let's go across and listen into that excerpt.
Sending letters out on Monday having to do with the trade deals. Could be 12, maybe 15. You know, Secretary of Commerce right here. And I guess, Howard, I would say it could be maybe as many as 15 or so. And they'll be going out on Monday, and some will go out on Tuesday and Wednesday, and and we've made deals also. So we're going to have a combination of letters, and some deals have been made.
Meanwhile, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says countries without trade deals by August 1 will see tariffs boomerang back to steep April 2 levels, while warning of higher import taxes unless progress is made. While Bessent insists that this isn't a new deadline, he calls it a clear signal: strike a deal or face the consequences. He also teased big announcements on trade coming soon over the next few days.
All right, moving on. Elon Musk is launching the America Party, breaking from former ally Donald Trump over president's massive tax cuts and spending bill. Musk, who once backed Trump with $250 million, blasted the law as a disgusting abomination and vowed to shake up the political system. Now, Trump dismissed the move as ridiculous, warning third parties just cause confusion. While it's unclear if Musk has formally registered the party, he's already rallying support online and eyeing influence in 2026 midterms. Now, let's go across and listen into Trump's commentary.
I think it's ridiculous to start a third party. We have a tremendous success with the Republican Party. The Democrats have lost their way, but it's always been a two-party system. And I think starting a third party just adds to confusion. It really seems to have been developed for two parties. Third parties have never worked. So he can have fun with it, but I think it's ridiculous.
And shifting focus to the oil market then, OPEC plus oil giants including Saudi Arabia and Russia surprised markets by agreeing to a larger than expected output hike of 548,000 barrels per day starting August. The 8-nation group is accelerating the rollback of voluntary cuts amid strong global demand and low inventory. This follows steady increase over the past 3 months, with prices hovering near $68 per barrel. The move signals confidence in the market fundamentals, even as geopolitical tensions and summer demand keep energy traders on alert. Japan's real wages fell 2.9% year-on-year in the month of May, the sharpest drop in nearly 2 years as inflation outpaced earnings. Despite a historic pay hike for unionized workers, broader wage growth remains weak. Nominal wages rose just 1%, the slowest in over a year. The decline marks 5 straight months of falling real income.
At a tense BRICS summit in Rio, leaders condemned rising tariffs and attacks on Iran without directly naming the US or Israel. Leaders Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin were absent, with the latter dialing in remotely. Host Brazil tiptoed around Trump's tariff threats, focusing instead on trade, health and climate. Brazil's Lula advocated for reform of Western-led global institutions with an aim to avoid becoming the target of higher tariffs. Leaders also strongly condemned the April terror attack in Pahalgam, aligning with India's call for zero tolerance and unified action against terrorism. In the Rio Declaration, the bloc also blasted double standards in counter-terrorism, illegal financial flows, and the use of cryptocurrencies for terror funding. Remember, the summit comes just days after the Shanghai Cooperation Summit, which did not acknowledge the Pahalgam attack.
Mr. Modi, addressing the BRICS summit, called out global double standards hurting the global south. He said it is unacceptable that global institutions remain outdated. Modi emphasized that BRICS must champion fairer policy making, give priority to developing nations' challenges, and act as a true force for economic cooperation and global good, and not just symbolic support. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu heads to White House today to meet Trump on a potential Gaza ceasefire. Talks center on a 60-day truce and possible hostage release by Hamas. Israel sent negotiators to Qatar as pressure mounts at home. Over 20 Israeli soldiers died this month, and Gaza's death toll has now surpassed 55,000.
Flash floods in central Texas have now claimed at least 79 lives. Torrential rains caused the Key River to surge 26 feet in just 45 minutes, sweeping away homes and campsites. Over 850 people have been rescued so far. Governor Abbott declared Sunday a day of prayer, and President Trump signed a disaster declaration pledging federal aid. With more rain forecast, search crews face worsening conditions. Taylor Fritz advanced to the Wimbledon quarter-final Sunday after Australian Jordan Thompson retired mid-match due to injury, trailing 6-1 and 3-0. Now, Fritz is now set to face Karen and said he did want to win this way but respects Thompson's effort. In women's action, top seed Aryna Sabalenka reached her 11th straight slam quarter-final and will face 37-year-old Laura Sigmund, who's also returned to the quarters 9 years after her last run. But Monday looks promising as Novak, Jannik Sinner, Emma Navarro and Iga Swiatek are set to play.
And after a 55-point uptick that we saw on Friday, let's have a look at how Asian markets have opened this morning. Although Gift Nifty is suggesting an absolutely flat start for the Indian markets, Nikkei, that is the Japanese market, is sitting with a cut of 0.5% as we speak. It's now down over 200 points. Kospi on the flip side is trading with some amount of gains, but we have Hang Seng, which is again sitting with a cut of nearly 0.25%. That one is in the red. Shanghai is down nearly 4 points. And we also have ASX 200, which has started on a negative note, although absolutely flat, 8592. And Gift Nifty, as I mentioned, is also indicating a flat start for the Indian markets. It's absolutely flat, 25,533. But remember, a whole host of events to watch out for, not just today, but for the rest of the week, especially with respect to latest developments that are coming from US President Donald Trump and the tariff deadline, which expires on July 9. Although now he has gone ahead on record and said that perhaps those new deadlines will be set to August 1. So some development over here will also be keenly awaited.